All right, so I plugged my camera into my computer. I'm going to go ahead and open the folder to view files. And then inside, this is camera 1, 2, 3, or 4. So inside, it's just like a flash drive. I open up 100 touch. I have this image here. That was an accident. And I've got these 6 videos. So I'm actually copy these 6. And I'm going to create a folder. In this case, I'm going to do mine on my desktop. You won't want to do this on your machine because your desktop will be gone tomorrow. But I'm going to do mine on my desktop. I'm going to call it Vine Video. Inside that Vine Video folder, I'm going to create a folder called Footage and another one called Edits. And just, even though I won't have things in this, I always want to get in the practice of also creating an audio folder and a graphics folder. So for every project you'll do, you'll create those 4 folders. And then inside my footage folder, I'm going to paste that video. That will drop that footage right into there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Premiere. So I can go in here and I can type in PRE, and I'll see that Adobe Premiere Pro shows up. I'll open that up and I'll see what can initially be kind of an overwhelming or confusing screen. Let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to start a new project. We can leave this as DV, leave all this the same, but we're going to define where we want to save it. So click Browse, and we're going to save this in our Edit folder. So I'm going to go into that folder I just created, Vine Video, and then select Edit, and I'm going to select that folder. And what do I want to call it? I'm going to call this Vine Video. Click OK. And then this, the only thing you're going to do in here is just select one of these widescreen options under DV NTSC. That won't necessarily nail the settings for your particular camera, but it'll at least give you a wide screen. And this video here, I'm going to name this last name underscore Vine. And click OK. Now I've got this screen that shows up. It can be kind of confusing. I have 4 different windows here. Over here in the lower left is my project panel. That's kind of like a file cabinet. Right now I just have this one thing in there, and it's what's called my sequence. At this point, I'm going to double click in here, and I'm going to import my footage. So I'm going to go to my Vine Video, my footage. I'm going to select all of this footage and click Open. And that'll import those files into my project panel here. If I double click on one of them, it shows up in my source monitor up here, and I can now put it in my timeline, and I'll see it in my program monitor. So I film these, or my students film these in order, so I know that this is my first shot that I want to work with. And so it's kind of a long establishing shot. Now my whole video is only going to be 6 seconds, and you can see that this particular clip is 5 seconds long. So I'm actually going to make this really short. So I'll create, just about a little less than a second, or maybe I'll go about to a second of it. And I'm going to set in and out points. So I did that by clicking the in point and then moving to here and clicking the out point. And then I can take this video and I can drag it to the beginning of video 1 in my timeline down here. Now, when I do, I get a pop-up that says it doesn't match. This video doesn't match the sequence settings that I set up. So I always want to click change, meaning I want my end video to match my camera settings. So I'm going to click change, and now it's going to match. It'll look nice there. Move this over and move this down a little bit. Shows up a little bigger. And then down here, I'm going to zoom in by hitting plus on my keyboard, and that'll show up there. Now, so that's my first video, my first clip in there, and you can see it's 27 frames long. The final product is going to be 29 frames per second, so that's actually just less than a second. That's my first video. My second one, I'll see here, I'll play it. I've got Jesse there picking up a rock. So I'm going to start right at this point, and I'm going to end as he picks up that rock, maybe right at that point. So I'm going to set my in point, out point. I'm going to drag this down right to the second place there. And so now I've got, if I scrub through here, I've got this. I've got him bending down to pick it up, right? Looks pretty nice. I crossed the 180-degree line rule, the action line rule, but we can deal with that in a later lesson. The next video here, I've got him, he's holding it in his hand, right? So I'm gonna set an in point there. He's got that rock in his hand, an out point. We got a close up there. Now I'm at 3 seconds in my video, so I gotta, kind of make sure that I'm not gonna go over 6 here. Now I'm gonna start it here. He's about to throw it, and maybe I'll cut it right there. He throws that rock. The next one here is going to show the rock landing, and then it's going to show Dalton coming out here just as Dalton comes out to give his reaction. And then what's this last one? I think that's just a mistake there. So now I've got my video here, down here. It's 6 seconds and 13 frames, so I'll actually just trim some of this back as he comes out to get it down to under 6 seconds. Okay, so I'm at 5:29. So now I've got my full video in here. I can play this, and I can see through there, right? So I've got action, someone throwing a rock. I've got reaction, someone getting frustrated about it. I've got a wide shot there. I've got a medium shot as he throws it, and I've got a tight on his hand. Action, reaction, wide, medium, tight. Now I'm ready to export this video. So with this timeline selected or this video selected, either one of those, you see the yellow line around it, I'm gonna go File, Export, Media. And in this case, I'm gonna choose H.264, and I'm gonna go to YouTube 720p 2997 as my preset there. I'm going to click on this yellow text to define where I'm going to save this file, and I'm actually going to save it in my Vine video folder just at the top level here. So right in this folder here. Click Save. I can see that my workspace, my whole video is 529, and I'm going to click Export. Now that video will just take a couple seconds to export because it's very short. And now I can go into this Vine video folder. I see that my MP4 is exported there. It's 6 seconds long, and I can play it right here. Right? I have action, reaction, wide, medium, tight. Now I'm ready to turn that in by uploading it to Google Drive, sharing it with anyone that has a link, and then submitting through Schoology.